the villains.
No, they're too close together up top.
Oh my gosh! Oh shit!
You didn't expect to
Ah,
slide back.
yes. Oh my god.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the after show of episode 3 of Survive the Island Season 3. It was a good one, for lack of a better term. I do want to introduce Mischief before I forget. I was going to forget. Mischief's here with me. Say hi, Mischief.
Hi, everybody. I missed you.
All right, so this week was weird in a lot of ways, but we still had a 1v1 and we did have a good bit to talk about. So let's start with the first match. Tiki taking on Twilight. Reflector won an individual immunity, so we didn't see him on the team. And Tiki really looked good against Twilight. Albeit, like I said, they did have a little more slaying power going their way, but yeah, Tiki looked solid in the first match.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely really cool to see Reflect win immunity, just because again, everyone has him like really high up on their list of like potential and stuff. But yeah, him winning immunity, like part of me does think sometimes like he is way too good of a player. You take him out of the, individually, it's good for him to win immunity to keep himself safe. But he's one of those players where like with like people like him, Growler, like are they really all that nervous if they don't get immunity? Because, God forbid, let's say they still do go into elimination, would they actually be nervous? I feel like they know what's going on and what to do. But yeah, him winning the immunity, I mean, during that situation, if I'm his team, I'm shaking my boots. I'm like, damn, we just lost our juggernaut. So.
Yeah, and from my perspective, like, Marv and Siege are some top players in the game, and Morg played pretty well in that series. Like you said, you lose Reflectory, there's not a whole lot you can do from a slaying perspective. So they lose that if you're Team Twilight. Then you're facing Mango in what is, if you lose, you're going to Tribal, and you're losing somebody, which isn't good. But, I mean, Mango didn't really come out to play, and there was some controversy on this, and we can bring some light into it. Growler was clearly throwing. There's no way around it. What are your thoughts on that? Because obviously you're all about individual play, but like I said, Growler kind of threw that to send Mystery into elimination. So
Yeah, I mean, again, I played against and with Growler tons of times, so me watching him from, a spectator standpoint, you knew he was throwing 100%. And it's interesting because you're like kind of thinking and going through your head, what's his angle? Why is he doing this? Is he targeting a player to try to get them eliminated, or is he protecting a player? So listen, any other league, you turn around and you're like, you know what? Like, have some respect for the game, and you should never throw. But I mean, this is Survive the Island. This is going to happen. People are going to throw to help themselves out in the game or help out their alliances in the game. So I was actually really impressed, and I was kind of excited to see him kind of throw a little bit because listen, he's making moves. It's early on in the game still, right? It's week 3, and he's making a move to either protect his alliance or protect himself or kind of move or shift things around. So yeah, it was very clear as day that he was throwing. I've really never seen Growler play play like that ever. But you know what? I mean, again, he's making moves, and we have to see what the end result is. It could have worked in his favor. We don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it could have worked out um, if he just won it. But like you said, it's interesting to see players actually making moves. Like you said, the right thing, I'll use air quotes there, to do is just win, if you're in any other league. But because it's so individual, Growler had a chance to get rid of Mystery, or at least send him to elimination, because Mystery was going to miss a game, and so was Morg on Team Tiki. So we had an unprecedented, what I would call, cross-tribe elimination. Instead of forfeiting one over the other or either of them out, fairest thing to do was to have them 1v1. But that was only possible if Mango lost. Because if Twilight lost, they were still going to go to elimination.
You have to think like the two people that went into elimination. Um, you can play two angles on this. You can play it as like Growler was either protecting someone on another tribe, or straight up the two people that went to elimination. It's kind of telling that all right, they're not really in his inner circle.
Right.
And those people that went into elimination, I think the second that they they actually went in, I think they kind of realized like, okay, they have to start relying on other alliances and stuff. And we're getting to a point in the game like this is the turning point where it's like relationships and alliances are really gonna change the dynamic of the game, and I think players are starting to realize that. And you know what? I'm impressed, and I gotta give kudos to Growler for kind of throwing the first stone.
Yeah. And one thing that was an added twist, because obviously that game was, I mean, important, but also you add the extra layer of you tempting Bitch to kill with a hidden immunity idol. So, with that, she had to do something else. Do you want to break that down at all and kind of talk about it?
Yeah. So again, hidden immunity idols are a part of the game, and as as you've seen, Mark, a couple of players have been offered immunity idols and hasn't exactly worked out in their favor, and they're not around anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Bitch to Kill got offered an immunity idol. The task for it was that the first hard point she had to get a knife kill. Now, keep in mind, you'd think it's an easy task, but when both teams are trying to win to kind of secure their own safety, things get
Right.
hectic, and it's not exactly super easy to run at someone and knife them. And sitting in a corner is really just going to cost your team. Uh, she was able to complete that task. And then one of my more favorite tasks that I came up with was she could not use the same gun 2 rounds in a row in S&D, meaning she couldn't use an SMG 2 rounds in a row. She couldn't use an AR 2 rounds in a row. She couldn't use a pistol 2 rounds in a row. So she was consistently switching classes throughout the S&D, which again, if you're like a hardcore AR player or
Right.
you're like a stuck SMG, that's really gonna mess with you because not only is that changing how you play the game or your positioning, but again, your shot's not gonna be as really straight on, especially if you're an AR player and you have to switch to the sub. So it was kind of interesting to watch the series and see how she kind of managed that. And there was a couple of times where it kind of seemed like it got to her and she got blooded and stuff. So it was like I was curious to see if her team would notice. To my knowledge, I don't think they did, but she completed the challenge and she received the immunity.
Yeah. And with her receiving immunity and staying out of elimination, she gets to hold on to that going deeper into the game, which can come up here in the future. So that's something to keep your eye on with these next few weeks panning out. We did have the elimination match, and obviously, I mean, it's not the end of the world, but somebody went home, and that elimination match, you could tell, was stressful for them because nobody wanted to take a gunfight until the end when Mystery kind of had a padded lead. He was kind of avoiding, it seemed, at least to me. Morg as well. Morg ended up losing and going home. Mystery, back-to-back weeks where he's got his feet to the fire and comes out on top. So what were your thoughts about how he played, just like overall in the 1v1?
Again, I gotta give credit where it's due. Like, Mystery isn't really someone I'd have my money on going into an elimination, regardless of who he's going against. But I mean, after that showing against Love Wins, I'm kind of like, all right, you know what? The dude's preparing for things, and he's like looking ahead. Um, watching him play Morg, it seemed like he was prepared for it. He was a little more like strategical
Mm-hmm.
in that match. And again, my only question was kind of like, all right, was Morg really prepared? And if Morg did have some alliances going on, I think it would have been in their best interest to kind of help her out and kind of prepare her for that match. But overall, it just seemed like Mystery just kind of outplayed her. He played it smarter. He played it more careful. It definitely seemed like he was more hesitant, but I mean, it worked out for him. And I mean, this is the second elimination where he's made it out alive. So again, I gotta give credit where it's due. The guy's staying alive, and that's the name of the game. You stay alive all the way till you come in first and you're the last
Mm-hmm.
one.
Yeah. And before we wrap it up, Morg, I thought, had some struggles in the game, but overall, I think she was a solid team player. She was starting to form some alliances, but, things are out of our control sometimes, and she just wasn't able to recover from having to be sent to elimination. Like I said, they won the first match, but because of the whole outside of the game stuff, ends up in the elimination, goes home. Like I said, for a first time, I thought she played well.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it was very unfortunate, and hopefully we'll see her again sometime.
And again, you got to remember, I mean, 1v1's elimination, like, it really just comes down to who has a better game, who's having a better day. Like, it can go either way. Like, wherever the wind blows. So I feel like it's not really a testament to some people's like skill and knowledge
Agreed.
and strategy. Sometimes it's just like, all right, this person's feeling themselves, this person's feeling more confident, or this person's on a heater. So
Yeah,
I think it was just not Morg's day. But again, there's some other factors that I think contributed to it. But overall, I think she had a pretty solid first season.
yeah. Like you said, it's not a. I'm not saying that overall Mystery's a better player than Morg because of that 1v1, but that is kind of the name of the game. You don't want to be put in elimination situations because 1v1s can go anywhere. I think we saw that when Love Wins got eliminated earlier than anyone probably predicted. So, yeah, you got to be careful in this game. And unless you have something else for week 3, it was an interesting week, and I think the way the teams are now, next week's just gonna get crazier.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I mean, going forward now, again, after these eliminations, it's getting down to the nitty gritty. So I feel like a lot of players, the less players there are, the more careful you have to be, and the more nervous you should be because anyone can go home. Again, the skill gap is getting smaller. The alliances are getting bigger for the people who are still in the game. So you really need to watch your back and be prepared for anything. And if there's an opportunity to win a match with your team or grab an immunity, I think these players need to take it because now it's getting to the point where really anyone can go home.
Agreed. And don't miss it. That's gonna be next Sunday, so a week from now at 8 Eastern. We'll see you guys on the after show once again. Thank you for watching, and yeah, stay tuned.
And I'll miss you. Come back. I'll miss you.